Alrighty, welcome to the Oddly Sidecast. I'm Joey.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Vince.
So how are you guys doing today?
Doing all right, actually. I'm just kind of chilling. It's one of those mellow Saturdays so far.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm kind of just hanging out for the most part.
I just got done grilling up some steak and chicken.
On
What
some
kind of-
George Foreman type.
What kind of steak,
Beat?
though?
Carne asada.
Ooh,
And then the-
Hispanic classic.
And then the chicken is also like Mexican style citrus prepared chicken.
Now, I feel like I know. Okay, we're starting off on food again, but whatever.
No. Hold on. We're straight. We're straight.
I feel like carne asada is like one of the few things that has to be done on the grill.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I can't just pan cook carne asada.
I can't even imagine that.
I remember one time seeing a recipe from like Food Network. I think it was from like the Pioneer Woman or something, and she had a carne asada recipe where you did it in like a cast iron and then finished it in the oven, like you were doing like a sirloin or something. And it was the most odd thing I ever seen in my life.
Today we're going to be trying some authentic Mexican steak.
You mean some
Today what we're
authentic
going to
carne
do-
asada?
Today we're gonna do carne asada. Okay, and what you want to do is you want to take the meat and boil it. All right,
Oh,
this is to get that
no.
authentic flavor.
Next
jeez.
week, join us while we make a chicken adobo from the mysterious Orient Island of the Philippines.
And if you're subscribed
Jesus.
if you're subscribed to our special newsletter, you'll see our recipe for homemade queso fresco.
Beautiful.
Jesus.
Such culinary prowess.
Fun fact, that just means fresh cheese.
Wow. All right. So I think Joey actually had some shit to talk about other than, our fast food sponsorships for 30 minutes.
Well, actually, today I wanted to start with I know we were talking. Well, we didn't really talk about it, but I had messaged y'all earlier about the PewDiePie released a video and it had like he released like accidentally an old video from 2010 and it just hit different. Like I said that in the chat, I was like, that shit hit different. I don't know what it was about it. It was like the mic quality combined with like the way he was talking and
Well, it was
just took
also
me
was
back
Black
for a
Ops
second.
1, wasn't it?
Yes.
That
Yeah, it
in
was
itself,
Blops.
regardless of like
It was-
old school PewDiePie, that in itself is nostalgic on its own.
It was Black Ops 1 with the signature early 2010s, late 2000s Turtle Beach mic
Ooh.
quality.
Yikes.
Everyone either had a Turtle Beach or whatever
Or
I forget. If you were a big boy, you had an Astro.
Yeah, I was gonna say you had Astros, and you actually had the power unit for it, the mixer.
Yeah.
Hi guys, welcome back to my Call of Duty Black Ops playthrough. I'm
Oh
just
my
going
God.
through with the scout right here.
That reminds me of my old improv character.
Freaking
Your old improv character.
XXX.
Yeah, XXX 666 69 Pussy Destroyer.
Oh yeah.
XXX underscore 69 666.
And some kind of fucked
No
up
scopes all
variation
day.
of the Optic clan tag.
Yeah. But it was never like Optic. It was always like in reference to Optic, so it was like close enough. Like
Yeah.
the clan tag would be like Spyglass.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got like LASIK clan.
I
When
love that
every
fucking
10-year-old
character.
cared about their KD.
I love that fucking character. It was one of my absolute favorite characters to do. Right up there with Mongolu. Oh man, I miss Mongolu. This is one of my favorite, absolute all-time favorite improv characters.
Good old improv.
Just a South American man who works at the South American, or at the he's a South American man who works at the South American embassy in France. And his whole thing is that he hates French people, and this is one of my favorite characters I ever came up with. Just ridiculous.
Those were different
So
times.
They really
incredibly
were.
specific.
That's what makes it so funny.
Uh
That being
And
said, whenever I hear I think it's Black Ops, it's the doon 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 doon, like multiplayer lobby screen music.
Yeah.
I get hit with
Yeah.
a hot warm rush of nostalgia.
Just some fire.
Of either pre or post game shit talking before you get split into your teams.
Yeah.
Oh, I love how quickly it used to cut off too. Oh,
Well-
I have such a good memory of so my brother and my cousin would do this thing. It was the funniest shit in the world. Where like my cousin was good at the game and things like that, but when they came over, I don't know, like they didn't want to play split screen, they wanted to play online. So my brother would
Ooh,
play,
I love
and while
forced
that was
latency.
going on, while my brother would play, my cousin would be on the mic just talking like crazy shit, and it had me in stitches every time. I was just like, I would sit across on the couch and watch them go off, and then they'd switch every once in a while, and it's just like, it's amazing how much better your shit talking gets when you're not trying to focus on a game, because it's just it's so amazing, and it distracted the hell out of everyone. They killed in that game. It was so dope. It was funny as shit.
I feel like that's something that like newer generations may not be getting the same experience of.
The just Wild West, that voice chats.
Yes, the Wild West.
Maybe we're just dating ourselves and we're not. Since we don't
No,
play
no.
those much anymore.
There- Fortnite has, like-
there was like a peak time for that. I feel, you know, it was the second Xbox 360 like home screen, like the second design with Black Ops 1, Halo Reach, fucking that was it right there. That was like the peak time to be someone who played Xbox.
What really like puts it in perspective, I mentioned earlier in a group chat, is that this is back when Keemstar was not Killer Keemstar.
Oh my
right into the he was just a guy, a part of a group that just griefed people on COD and freaking Halo Reach.
Do you remember you remember his old character
Reach.
Sparkles, the gay rapper?
Yeah, that's some shit
Dude,
that would not fly
dated
today.
shit, dude.
That is
It's wild.
dated.
I
It
mean,
is
you
some
could
shit
probably
that would-
you could probably still find it on YouTube. I'm certain
Yo,
there's
you
like at
probably
least
could.
15 re-uploads of it. But it's
But
so
it was-
crazy to think that that guy, because I remember, and full disclosure for anyone listening, back in the day when me and Vincent used to watch Keemstar in that capacity, we actually enjoyed his content. But
Yeah.
now, like, the stark contrast between his Black Ops 1 trolling, you know, like a decade ago, and the drama alert bullshit that he does nowadays is just night and day. It's actually kind of wild. And not a lot of people maybe realize that he used to do that stuff. I feel like the vast majority of his current subscriber base has no idea that was even something he did.
Yeah, because
Honestly,
it was
I didn't know. Like, until I talked to you guys, I didn't know Keemstar existed before Drama Alert. Like, I didn't know
No.
he had like
He's
anything
been
going
he's
on.
been on the internet for like I mean at least 10 years. And when I go back to then, I start to think of even crazier like drama YouTubers that played video games like Athene.
Oh God, not a thing. Okay, have you ever heard of Athene, Joey?
Athene is
No.
wild. What a
Athene is
tale.
still wild, although he's not big anymore. But Athene was he predominantly played Blizzard games, so like either World of Warcraft
League
or
of Legends.
Diablo,
And League of Legends.
and a
like-
little bit
like,
of yeah.
like season 1 League of Legends.
He actually I forget if it's still in the game. He had an item named after him in League of Legends.
I
But
think it was Athene's Unholy Grail or something like that.
he was I forget what he was, German or something. Some kind of Eastern Czech or something, some kind of European.
I can find that out.
Yeah, go ahead and look that. But anyway, the thing is, generally, he's a very good gamer at what he did. He had at the time he had set
He's an
records.
elite gamer.
He was an elite gamer, but at the time he had set records for like certain World of Warcraft stuff, Diablo
Belgian.
speed runs.
He's Belgian.
Belgian. I would not have
Hey.
guessed. Anyway,
You were close
there's
with
that.
German. You were close with German.
true. But his online persona, which at this point I feel like it just melded with his normal persona, was he was this like shit talking.
No. I have the best comparison, okay?
Oh boy.
To something that people can relate to in 2020. He was, what's his name? Dr. Disrespect in 2009. His whole
I could see it.
his whole thing was like his boisterous personality. I have this record. I did this. I broke this game. Like, you know, the whole like Dr. Disrespect, like the 2-time or whatever.
Yeah.
That was his whole persona. But Athene was genuine about it. So think of Dr. Disrespect, but earnest.
But not memeing.
Yeah, but not memeing with the fucking sunglasses and the wig on. We're talking like a real life Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, like this man was always just like, we're gonna be out, and with his accent, we're gonna be out town, we're gonna destroy this fucking game.
Nice.
One weird thing he would always do though is in all of his YouTube videos, he would always have his girlfriend like still with her bra on, though, like take her shirt off. It was kind of weird at the time.
Those, were
It
the
definitely
Wild West days of YouTube.
it definitely attracted all the young kids watching, but every time his girlfriend always had to like have some cleavage out. It was and his friend who never had a shirt on too. It was weird. It was weird times.
The Wild West, man.
Anyway, now he just kind of has a cult of his own that lives in a
Cult of
building.
Personality. Yeah, he did like a political run in like 2005 in Belgium.
Spectacular.
And like it's like a fringe, like what do you call it? It's like a fringe. I think if I'm remembering correctly off the top of my head, it's like a fringe political group that he formed, and it's all about environmentalism or something like that. Like really aggressive environmentalism.
But he lives in this place with his, I don't know, followers, and he calls it the compound and shit. It's kind of creepy.
Followers.
It's some Manson shit.
It is very
Some
Manson.
Far Cry 5 type shit.
100%.
Some
Yeah,
Far Cry 5 type shit.
it really is some Far Cry 5 shit, but a Belgian man. Really,
Yeah.
honestly, he's kind of an interesting like microcosm of what YouTube used to be. Which is funny
That is
because
true.
I would describe Keemstar as being similar, but I feel like he maybe services a different facet.
Yeah, Keemstar figured out how to stay relevant, although I don't
like a
support
cockroach.
Keemstar.
He's like a fucking
I don't-
cockroach.
He's like a cockroach.
He's a
No,
cockroach. I don't
seriously.
support Keemstar.
When
but-
YouTube gets nuked, right? When Google gets bought by Tencent and YouTube gets fucking nuked, Keemstar will be the only YouTuber who survives because he is just the most resilient, resourceful motherfucker. I'm certain if you took Keemstar and dropped him at the bottom of a 20-foot deep dirt hole, he'd be able to get his way out. I don't know how, but he'd fucking
from
do
the
it.
depths. From the depths, you
Hey,
hear Killer
team-
Keemstar.
10 years
What
from
is
now,
up?
when we're on episode like 752 of the podcast and it's a slow news day and Keemstar picks up this bit to talk about,
Dude,
and he's like real pissed that we were dunking on. Hi, Keemstar. How you doing, buddy?
Listen, I would,
You all right?
I would
You living?
love to sit down with Keemstar. Unironically, I don't know about you two, but I would love to sit down and talk to that guy.
I think it
I
would
don't
make for
care
some
enough.
good content.
No, it
There's
isn't
some
even
funny
about. No, it isn't even about content. It's not even about recording it. I would just love to talk to the man, not the meme star.
The myth, the legend.
I would like
That
to.
is true.
I would like to speak to the man star, not the meme star.
Jesus. It'd be an interesting conversation for sure.
100%, because I have the context of having known of his existence for much longer than like a huge majority of his subscribers. I mean, I guess it's kind of an assumption, but I would imagine because back in those days when we were watching Keemstar, he maybe was like at his biggest point at like maybe 125,000 subscribers. But of course, this was back in the day when 125,000 subscribers was incredibly.
Yeah, that was nothing to sneeze at.
Not at all.
Mondo numbers.
I mean, it wasn't Mondo numbers. They weren't, he wasn't fucking Smosh, but he was, decent size.
Smosh.
Ooh, another fallen
I
one.
remember Smosh.
I feel like I don't even recognize them anymore, but that's how a lot of old
Jeez.
school YouTubers are. I mean, look at like
That's what happens.
look at like Rooster Teeth, Like
yeah,
like
I
I
think
don't,
Rooster Teeth just got too big. They got too big too
Yeah.
fast, and they just kind of lost an identity.
because they used to kind of have like a mood to their content,
Hmm.
like a tone
I
or
haven't
like
seen
a
a lot
feeling.
of Rooster Teeth in a long time.
A lot of it's really
I
sterile
couldn't say.
nowadays because
Yeah.
it feels like it's become corporate, and I don't know if that's just like the hipster in me being like
Damn,
I
the
knew about it
man?
a long time ago or whatever.
Damn, they lost it. As soon as they went corporate, everything went down south.
I mean, that's
mean-
that's
It's
one of
all
the few
so vanilla
instances
now.
where you can say they actually did go really corporate.
That is
Uh,
true. They
Like,
did.
without a shred of irony in my voice. That is actually a media group that went incredibly corporate.
Yeah, all I ever did was I really only ever listened to the podcast every once in a while. So I guess I didn't get to see that much of it.
Well, I used to
Like,
watch like
because I
their
didn't consume a
content.
lot
I
of
feel
their
like
other
I feel like
content.
Rooster Teeth was at their like creative peak. Obviously, they're probably at their peak right now in terms of like, profitability and the kind of content they're able to make and stuff like that. But I feel like in terms of like someone who used to watch their content and experience it or whatever, I feel like they were at their absolute peak in like 2013. I feel like that's when they were
Mm.
the most creatively like significant.
When they're
To
like
your
identity
taste.
was the strongest.
That's when their
Like,
identity was the most concrete, and I feel like I understood what I was getting into with every single Rooster Teeth. Like,
I think just right now
production.
they try to get into everything too much because they got like I don't even know how many different podcasts at this point. And Achievement Hunter is still fun sometimes, but like Rooster Teeth in general, they're just putting out so much stuff. I just feel like they're not like focusing on stuff they're good at.
And I feel like the company used to have like more like personable, like direct personalities that hosted all their different pieces of content.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of them have like gone to the wayside and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean it's like 10 years or so.
No, and I would
or
never
whatever, so I
blame
figure,
any
like,
of
people
those
move on.
hosts or anything for moving on from Rooster Teeth and things like that. But I think it's still like a fair assumption to say that like things have changed. And I mean, I'm happy for them. I'm happy that they've blown up and are super successful, but just, that doesn't mean that I can't be critical of their content to a small degree. And it isn't even that it's
No,
bad
yeah.
content. It's just a lot of it feels like really sterile.
Like very, very by the book. And that's not saying like, oh, it should be like edgy or anything. It's
No.
just more of a sense of like I don't know how to describe it. It's a little
It used to be a lot more
It's not your
synthetic.
flavor anymore.
it
used to
feels a
feel
little
more
it's
personal.
synthetic.
It's the difference
Yeah.
between going to get your haircut at like a barbershop and going to get blood work done at a doctor's office.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do like a haircut at a barbershop and a haircut at Supercuts.
I was thinking that too.
No, because I
That's
feel
where
like
I thought that was
I
going.
feel like that's not a fair comparison either.
No, Supercuts I feel is real personable, which is pretty dope. Shout out to by the way, this podcast
Oh my
is
God,
sponsored by
You're
Supercuts.
such a dick. Don't anyone who just heard that shit, don't ever do that. Support your local barbers. They'll cut your hair a million times better. They are being absolutely overrun by shitty haircut conglomerate corporate chains that just fucking print out shitty haircuts like it's their job, because it is.
Jacob's on like a 60s kick right now, man. The man has been keeping Jacob down for a
Bro,
while.
honestly,
I
the
agree
only
with him
fucking
on the
thing I
haircut
have
thing.
to lose is my chains. No, but in all seriousness, I
Support
feel
local businesses.
Support local business, but I feel like there's a few things where like it's inexcusable. You should not be going to a corporate or huge chain in order to get these things done. Because
I mean, a lot of time it's a monetary thing, though. A monetary thing, I mean.
Look, things are really expensive here in California, so if the numbers I say right now sound high for wherever you are, keep that in mind. But I can go get a haircut at like Supercuts for, I think it's like $23, right?
Yeah, $20.
Okay. I can go get my haircut at my barber that I always go to for $30. That's $10. That's significant. That is a third more. Now I'll give you that, right? But full disclosure for anyone listening, I have very extremely curly hair. If I don't pay to go to someone with the expertise to properly cut my hair, I will walk around looking like Gumby for weeks. So you know what? Sometimes you get what you pay for. There's a few things you do in life, right? You tip your delivery drivers, you tip your barber, and life goes on. Or you will go to some chain place where the woman, I mean, if you have very atypical hair, like that is the one thing I'm very jealous of, like Asian people who have like the very like stereotypical like straight black hair, because anyone can cut their hair. But I cannot do that. So I don't have that luxury. So I tend to not even consider ever even going to chain places because I know that they won't properly cut my hair.
It's also a matter of having somebody that you like build a rapport with
That's another thing
So
too.
they like learn, because the thing with those supercut places is there's a lot of turnaround or turnover, however you want to phrase it.
It's like a
Because
revolving door.
it's a revolving door
Yeah.
because it's mostly people either just there to like start because like they just got maybe their license or something.
Or it's people who are stuck. Like they've conceded that they're going to work at Supercuts.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, building a rapport with a barber is one of the best things you can do because, all over Twitter recently, I've been seeing a lot of people talk about, what do you call it? Since we're in quarantine still, just FYI for anyone listening, month 2, I've seen a lot of people complaining about how they can't get a haircut. This is not how it is at all. My barber, who I've been going to for a long time now, immediately sent out texts and was like, hey, I'm down to do house calls.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
That's something that the Supercuts barber isn't going to do for you either. So
Oh no, support local barbers.
support
Yeah,
support
local
local
barbers.
business, period, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially right
Support
now.
local business.
Especially right now, it's a hard time for them.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
there will always be people who are willing to spend money at Walmart, Target, and Amazon. But every single time you walk into a small business that you like and support them, you are actively benefiting those people's lives in a very direct manner.
I mean, one good example, even though I don't play myself, is when I went with you guys to get your Magic cards, and you guys already have a rapport with your Magic card dealers.
Oh yeah, and they give us great deals.
Mm.
They will put things on reserve for weeks for us because they know us and they want to retain our business and stuff like that. And I'll be completely truthful with you. It's a little bit more expensive, right?
Yeah.
For anyone who isn't like intimately enthralled in the world of Magic the Gathering like myself, you have like big booster boxes, and I tend to buy my Magic in bulk when I do, or I'll buy singles if I'm building a deck. But I could go online. I can go to several different card vending websites that we could be sponsored by, but we aren't sponsored by.
Okay.
And I could order a whole booster box with 36 packs, the same I could at a store, and it would cost me maybe a difference of $6, right? Because most of those websites usually include shipping. So for an extra $6, I can just go to the store myself, get it directly, and I can support a small business that I know I can go play in whenever I want. That's another big part of it too, because communities form around local game stores where you can go and sit and play actual Magic with different people who aren't in your friends group and things like that. And that's something that'll never happen online. That's something that'll never happen, at a Walmart or Target. So
You never hit up the Magic table at Walmart, dude?
yeah, can you imagine? Can you imagine how fucking awful that would be?
Oh no, Walmart's a zoo as it is. Please no.
Yeah, without a bunch of sweaty fucking nerds sitting around on picnic tables playing their card game.
Jesus.
No. I love Magic and I love people that play Magic, but support small businesses, damn it.
Yeah. I think you had something to talk about next, Joey.
Good takeaway.
Oh yeah. Speaking of things you can do at a
yeah.
local game store.
That's nice fucking segue.
There you go.
Yeah. I was looking on fucking Twitter, and you know how they always do, especially now. I feel like now during like the quarantine, there's been so many more like of those little like things that just get spread. They're like the new send this to 5 friends. Send this to your 5 baddest eggs this Easter.
If you
Like it's the new version.
But they're
of
always
that.
threatening too. It's always like, if you don't send this to 10 people, the Grim Reaper himself
You're a
will
rotten
come.
egg.
They'll come. The Grim Reaper himself will come into your bedroom at night and reap your soul and make your dog watch. It's like, okay.
Jeez.
This is just a fucking picture. What the fuck's your problem?
It's wild
Share
to think
this image, or this creature will be under your bed tonight.
It's wild
It's
to
like
think that shit's been around since as long as the internet has been in inception. And according to my grandmother, who passed away, a few years back, she's very, very elderly. She was born in the 30s. according
Yeah.
to her, apparently that existed before the internet, and
I was
people
just
would
about
send
to
each
ask, do
other.
you think if
People
that
would actually
exists?
photocopy certain things and send them like through the post. Like you would send
That's
jokes through
amazing.
the post, and I didn't believe her until she fucking pulled some out of her storage.
Just a box
Wow.
of freaking archaic
Yes,
memes.
like old school,
That would be
like old
pretty amazing
school,
to sift through.
like old school ink printed like memes. Yeah,
That would be a gold mine to sift through.
I mean, of course, back in those
Probably
days.
find some dated stuff to find. In
Oh,
there.
absolutely. But of course, back in those days, you can probably make an argument that the quality of memes were better because to go through all the trouble
all
of getting
printed.
something printed back in the day, like the old school way rather than, a laser jet printer,
Oh yeah.
like you probably ensured that it was a pretty good meme.
If you had to print every single meme that you wanted to share with anybody,
And then print multiple
how many
copies
memes
of
do you
it.
think you would? Yeah, how many memes do you think like you would have?
Oh no.
Like every reaction image you need to send,
Oh.
you had to print it out on a paper and have like a stack at the ready. Even if the transmission was instantaneous, but like you just had you had to have the paper
Just
for it.
faxing somebody memes.
And it's wild because I
Yeah.
fucking straight up didn't believe her until she showed me. And I was like,
Just a stack of
I was
funnies.
like, you're kidding me right now. This isn't real. This isn't real life.
This one here was sent out by the Triscuit company. Yeah,
Oh, no.
Triscuit, the electric biscuit. You get it?
Jesus Christ. I love those old school Triscuit advertisements. Ugh.
They're
I love the
horrible.
aesthetic.
That being said,
It's like,
so
oh, go ahead.
so there's a bunch of cringy shit getting passed around Twitter.
Yes, yeah. So, I mean, it's not always cringy, but a lot of times it can be, you know. But there was one that I saw that was pretty dope, and it was going around D&D Twitter. And it was just kind of like the general like stat, like the ability score kind of allotment
Mm-hmm.
type of deal. So it was like the strength, dexterity, constitution, intelligence, wisdom, charisma.
And Vince will throw up an image on the screen.
Yeah.
And basically it gives you 6 numbers to fill in where you see fit.
Mm-hmm.
So I was intrigued. I didn't repost it. I didn't like fill it out or post it because I'm not really the type to do that.
Right.
And then this is the part where people watching this like 5 years later, when I've done like 20, pull up all the tweets and throw them in the comments below. Hey guys, but I was wondering, and I sent this image to both of you. I was wondering where y'all feel like your stats would lie if you had the numbers that you rolled were 15, 14, 13, 12.
And are you talking
10,
about
and
it
8.
reflecting us like in real life in terms of our stats in real life? Like as though
Yeah,
we were
like
creating,
if you
as if we were creating ourselves as a character.
Yeah, if you got rolled like those things, how would you disperse them in the stats corresponding to how you feel
Okay.
like your ability in each of those skills are?
I feel like this
that's-
would be funner if instead of doing it for ourselves, we did it for each other.
Damn.
Ooh.
And
I'm about to dunk on all of you.
Jesus
No.
Christ.
Well, I would give both of you an 8 on everything and none of the high numbers.
Oh, yeah?
Jesus.
is that right?
Just get brutal. Just get hardcore.
Eight's all around.
Well, I mean,
I don't feel like it's accurate. You didn't roll a 1
I
anywhere.
mean, I think you're getting that 8 in intelligence, Joey.
Thanks, buddy.
Okay. So I mean, that's how I feel. I think we should do it for each other. I feel like that's way funner to listen to.
All right.
Because anyone can argue, I got a 20 in strength, but
My nat 20 in charisma
yeah,
is
you're-
obviously
Yeah.
showing.
your best friends are going to be able to, better peg down.
Adequately assess you.
Yeah, without being. I mean, unless you guys do exactly what you just fucking said, Joey. And
Unless you got some vitriol in the tank.
yeah.
All right, let's do this.
So-
I like that. Vince, you good with that?
yeah, I'm cool.
All right. Who we starting on?
So then, I think that it'd be easiest to, like, pick one of us and then do the other two. Like the other two start allocating the numbers where they
Yeah.
would. So I will volunteer to go first.
Okay.
So you guys go ahead and tell me what you think. Where
Alright.
where would you allocate my stats?
Well, we'll start from let's start from the bottom number, Joey.
Okay. 8.
I want to say dexterity.
Dex. Would you say Dex?
I don't know if I could argue.
I don't know.
That,
You gotta
honestly.
cook. You gotta. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
just
You
'cause
gotta
you're-
cook. In order to cook, you have to be very like capable. You gotta be handy with the steel, if you know what I mean.
Earn your keep.
Earn your keep.
I mean, hand dexterity and all like general dexterity, I feel like are kind of a little bit
General
different.
Dex.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that
'Cause Jacob,
I
you agree? You're a bigger man. You're a
Yes.
tall boy, so
I
speed
am-
isn't exactly your forte.
No, it is not. I am
on some
not.
not on some Lightning McQueen type
I'm a
shit.
very stiff man. If I was a boxer, I would be Canelo Alvarez, just straight as a fucking board.
I want
Only
to say
rotational velocity in your hips.
I am,
8 on
I am,
Dex.
I am definitely not a Mayweather.
8 on Dex with a proficiency in sleight of hand. There you go.
There you go. Okay,
yeah.
I feel it. See, that works.
All right.
Okay, the 10.
10. Where are we going with 10?
Hmm.
I think the 10 and the 12, or the 10, 12, and 13, I feel like, weirdly enough, I feel like the middle grounds is going to be the hardest to like balance out, to like distribute. Because it's just, they're so close together that
Well,
it's
then
really
it's probably
just like
the
comparative.
probably the easiest way to do it then is to do the bottom number, the top number, then work your way in.
And then fill the middle.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like the top number would be Constitution or Strength. But probably Constitution.
It's because we've seen Jacob drink like a madman.
Well, you gotta give the listener some
No, no.
context to that. They have no
Well-
idea what that means.
So anyway, listeners, Jacob is a lightweight, so I'm moving that 8 to Constitution.
Okie dokie. I have pictures to the contrary.
This dude downs a White Claw and is outside on the front lawn just yucking.
Jesus.
Yucking hard. I don't know. Okay, 15. 15. Where would you throw the 15?
I want to put Constitution.
Con, yeah.
Just because,
Con, 15. Just the hardiness.
Yeah.
14, strength. 13, I'd say. Would you give like the ability to like just draw and I feel like 13 would be intelligence, right? Because
No, I think
'Cause, Jake,
I
you know a
think
bunch of
drawing on
facts
random,
about everything.
I
that's
feel like
insight, so that'd be wisdom.
That's wisdom.
wisdom.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Insight, more insight. You're right. So 13 on wisdom, 12 intelligence, 10 charisma,
Hey, that's about the
8
layout.
dex. Okay.
Okay. Honestly, I think that's a pretty fair assessment. I think the only thing I would switch is maybe the intelligence and the charisma.
Oh, look at this guy,
That-
freaking Johnny Cool.
No,
over
no.
here.
I feel like
Wow.
that's the only thing that I would switch. I mean, I'll be the first guy to admit that I'm not the most intelligent, but I think, like you said, I feel like wisdom and charisma kind of go hand in hand. And I feel like that, generally speaking, I know my way around really niche conversations. And I feel like that takes not only a fair bit of wisdom, but also charisma. So that is my input. But honestly, if I was making it myself, I don't know that mine would look that much different from what you guys just described to me. I feel like it's a pretty
Not bad,
fair
not bad.
assessment. I think that Constitution was definitely like a good call for my highest stat,
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. But no, I think that you guys were pretty fair about everything.
Yeah, see, very.
Sweet.
So-
Got you. We know you.
Vince or Joey?
I'll volunteer as tribute for second.
Okay.
okay.
Joey.
All right.
Let's see.
Benny boy.
No, I know.
boy.
I'm just saying.
No, yeah, I'm like Benny. I'm thinking, like thinking out loud. I'm like Benny boy. What are we
So-
gonna give him?
Do you want to start with the bottom number again?
Bottom number?
Yeah.
All right. Shit.
I
don't know. What do you-
I mean, just being completely honest and candid here,
Here we go.
Oh boy.
I think I would put Vincent's 8 in charisma.
No, I can agree with that. I can totally agree with that.
I mean, that's the life of someone who edits, right?
It's different.
You didn't-
It's
let's
different,
just
like
say-
on the podcast talking
Yeah.
with like your like two of your closest friends and
Yes.
being out and about and like chatting with
Let's-
people.
I
There's a very different vibe.
absolutely blow ass at breaking the ice. When I get to know, once I know somebody, I'm cool. I'll be a normal ass person. But when it comes to breaking the ice, I just have such a fucking hard time doing it.
That first hurdle
Yeah.
might as well be like pole
But
vaulting.
Exactly.
But let's
I feel
let's
that.
save your assessment for the end, Vince. But I definitely
Hmm.
think that
Let's. Okay. Okay.
8 in the charisma
Okay.
is the necessary evil here. If we're all being
The
honest.
necessary evil. Yeah.
If we're
gonna put a lowest stat somewhere, it has to be
yeah.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah,
jumping
I
to
agree.
Alright.
the highest stat,
there. Highest.
I would put that for Vincent 100% in intelligence.
Yeah.
Like without a doubt. That one's not hard at all.
I feel like the intelligence. I think you could make the argument for intelligence or wisdom.
No.
Just based on the nature of the like what he draws upon during like when he's doing the more technical stuff. Yeah, it takes a lot of intelligence to like accrue that knowledge, but I feel like the capacity to kind of distribute it back in an effective way that works and shape it out is wisdom based too. I feel like the top two should be intelligence or wisdom.
Okay. You know what? Actually, that's a pretty compelling argument. So I think that 15 and 14. So 15 for intelligence, and I would put 14 for wisdom.
14 and wisdom.
I feel like
yeah.
that.
All right.
I feel like that's a pretty good assessment of Vincent.
That's a fair assessment. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So then
13 constitution,
yeah,
I think.
yeah, I'll give it that.
'Cause-
And then
Just because it would be the top one if the intelligence and wisdom weren't high, because out of all of us, I think we're all pretty like evenly matched. But I think like from an
in
alcohol
terms
standpoint,
of
which is what we're
drinking,
measuring the
Joey,
constitution.
come on now. Let's be honest. I could drink you both under the table. Not
I disagree.
100% due in part to my size, like difference between you guys alone.
But even then, when we have drinking together, I feel
Drunk.
like
When
you
we've
get
dranked.
more drunk than us.
Know me.
When we have drinking together.
Drunkood.
Drunkid.
Dinkered.
When we
Imbibed.
dinkered,
When I got dunk,
I feel like you get more drunk than us.
that's because I go harder.
It hits you hard. I feel like it hits you hard.
Mm.
Cause me and Vince that one time, like at my birthday, like on my birthday, we had like almost twice as much as y'all, and we were that's when we got to our tipping
You guys were
point.
Yeah.
No, you guys were inoperable well before you stopped drinking. Let's be clear. As someone who remembers that night, you guys were well inoperable before you guys stopped drinking. So
I don't think we ever stopped drinking.
you did.
We didn't
no,
ever
no,
stop
no.
drinking. That's the
Remember-
point.
No. I didn't stop
No.
drinking.
Keep in mind,
I stopped drinking because I started to fail.
So keep in mind, I'm the one that remembers the night. A, B, I'm the one that carried you up the stairs, Joey, and I'm also the one that picked you off the bathroom floor, Vincent. So
I didn't, but you didn't drink as much as I took more.
that's because I was.
I
That's
drank
because I was
more
on
than
nanny
all
duty.
three-
That's because I
than
was on
all
nanny
of
duty.
you.
Hold on.
I drank more than all of you.
Honestly,
The
Honestly,
first time,
After this quarantine is over, this is
birthday-
gonna spur some kind of like thing, and we're all
This is
gonna
gonna
die.
be the challenge. This is gonna be the challenge. You're gonna read 3 California men die of alcohol poisoning trying to prove a point.
3 Hispanic males in Southern California.
No, my birthday, my 21st
All
birthday.
right, we're gonna be stuck on. We're gonna
I-
be stuck on this.
All right, fuck it. Constitution.
Constitution
is
is
fucking
13. It's 13. That's middle ground.
That's the ground point. And then 12 and 10, strength
so
and dex. What are we-
dexterity is 12 and strength
Dex.
is 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So how do you feel about that assessment?
Yeah, what's your
No, honestly, I pretty much agree with all that. Like charisma, definitely not my strong point. Very, like I said, I suck at breaking the ice, and I am generally kind of awkward in a sense. It's always hard to agree with people ranking intelligence, probably just because it's the kind of person I am.
There's a layer of like humble.
You don't wanna
self-deprecation.
come off-
You want to be humble.
Yeah,
You don't want to
Yeah.
be narcissist.
yeah. I don't want to be like I'm smart. I'm the smartest one in the
I
group.
am so smart. I are so smart.
Constitution, I can agree with. It's not like our other friend, some other friends we have who get a couple drinks in and immediately start spinning.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah.
As far as that, like we're 3 of us overall are pretty hardy.
Yeah,
I feel like in
think-
comparison to our overall friends group, we're definitely kind of like we are the higher end of the spectrum.
Can deal the most. Yeah.
Yeah. We're the
This
ones that
quarantine
the
has made
that
me better.
yeah. We're the ones that the friends look at and be like, "How many drinks have you had?" Like 5. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
5, but all hard liquor, like
Yes.
neat.
But I feel like when it
Yeah.
comes to drinking, it isn't just how much can you take, but it's also how do you handle it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that yeah.
I'm pretty much in full control until I like black out.
Yeah, that's how I am too. There's really like that tipping point where I go from
Like-
in control of my faculties to no longer in control of my faculties.
Like
That one
physically,
night,
like
I
my
told-
motor functions. Like I just like I'm not somebody who blacks out and like does crazy shit. I just like fall asleep.
Yeah.
My functions are there. Like I black out, but I don't think I've like passed out like crap.
That is Vincent's signature though. As soon as he gets alcohol in him, there's like a timer. He goes to bed. He just curls up and it's fucking nap time. That is his signature go-to. If I had $1 for every time we were drinking and Vincent just decided, "Oh, I guess I'm going to sleep," I'd have a fat fucking wallet, dude.
I gotta rest my brain from all this intelligence.
There you go. There you go. Too much brain work.
Big galaxy brain.
Too much brain blast.
Ooh, it should have been an 18.
Jesus.
All right.
And then definitely strength and dexterity fit.
So we get into Joey?
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on, boyos.
So,
Hey.
if we're starting at the low end of the spectrum, there's a few things that I can easily just, immediately knock out that he doesn't have an 8 in, right?
Yeah.
I would say that Joey definitely doesn't have an 8 in dexterity. He definitely doesn't have an 8 in charisma. And he definitely doesn't have an 8 in constitution.
I would say just because of your technical skills, Joey.
I want to say again, this is kind of like 8 sounds bad on paper when comparing it to the other numbers, but obviously it's not like a 1,
Yeah.
Like just
It's like a mid-range.
it's like a pretty mid-range roll, right?
It's enough to not cause problems, but you're not the best.
Exactly. So I think I'm gonna say this without like an insulting intent to it, but I think I might put your 8 in wisdom, Joey. That's just how I feel. Because I feel like you do have a lot of technical ability, but I feel like I would drop technical ability more in intelligence than wisdom. If that makes sense. Because you were definitely, you're the musician of the group. You definitely are very capable of certain things, but I don't know that. Because I feel like wisdom is directly correlated with life experience. Not to say that you don't have plenty of life experience, but there's kind of just like degrees of which, And I feel like if I have to cross-reference it versus these other like numbers that I have to allocate, I feel like the bigger numbers are better allocated in other sections of the chart, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you
I would put
how do you feel about that, Vince?
I'm reserving my commentary till the end.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
By the way, I'm not like silent because I'm like thinking. real
no,
hard.
and again, I don't mean that like as an insult at all. Again, that's why I tried to like give my justification for it.
Yeah, no, just check your text messages. We'll talk about this later.
Jesus.
15. I want to say 15 in charisma.
No, well, Vince, do you agree with the 8? You don't have to.
No, I can agree with that. It just depends on like what like specific skill sets you want. Like, cause I know Joey is a very smart guy, but I also know he's not the most technical person.
Yeah.
So it depends on where you want to like put like things like that, or like technical skill, or like.
Well, then would you put would you put the 8 in intelligence? I mean, the guy can play the piano.
I think it could work. I feel like intelligence is more of a overall like how easily you can look at something and like break down a problem.
But Joey's pretty good at that.
Yeah, I would say wisdom. Wisdom is for the 8.
Okay. For 15, I say that Joey is a 15 in charisma. That's my opinion.
Yeah. You're certainly the talker of the group. At least the most level-headed talker of the
100%.
group.
Yeah, I feel like Joey can definitely speak and be heard, and that's
Oh, much
that's
appreciated.
an ability that not a lot of people have.
Yeah. It's
Um,
like I can't communicate super well, so I fall short there.
yeah. 10, I would put in strength, because I feel like Joey might be right down the middle when it comes to strength.
I can agree there. 12,
14,
12 to 14.
I would
Put that one in intelligence.
yeah, I can see it in intelligence. And then 13 dexterity and 12 constitution.
Yeah. I completely agree with that.
Well, you know what? No, instrument playing is actually kind of a dexterous activity. So I don't know. Maybe dexterity.
That's more of a specific sleight of hand thing.
Yeah, but every instrument is kind of correlated with that, and I feel like that's kind of like something that I.
Would you switch strength and dexterity? Probably. Whichever one was higher.
Well, dexterity I put higher because I said his dexterity should be 13, but I'm actually thinking maybe his dexterity should be the 14.
I would say keep it, at least from my perspective. I think that where we have it is pretty good, personally.
So 8 wisdom, 15 in charisma,
Charisma.
a 14 in intelligence,
Yep.
10 in strength, 13 for dexterity, 12 for constitution. Okay.
Yep.
How do you feel about that assessment, Joey?
I think you're a bunch of assholes. That's what I. No, yeah, that's pretty solid. I think comparatively, yeah, I feel like that works out really well. I would definitely. I was intrigued to hear like your debate between like the whole like is dexterity or playing like instruments is like playing instruments more suited to like dex or intelligence or wisdom.
The reason
or,
I lean more towards it being dexterity based is because it's kind of like a muscle memory thing and a practice thing.
Yeah, my thing was where I was thinking, well, because the way I play instruments, I don't play them technically. Like to how Vince was saying, I'm not a very technical guy. I'm like self-taught, and I went to school and I like learned how to do it, but I hate doing it, and I don't really do it that much.
So
like
then,
reading sheet
I
music.
would argue that it's dexterity based, not intelligence.
I would argue that it would be wisdom based because I make a lot of music, doing all of that. So I feel like it's like the insight onto like what would sound good together.
I mean,
rather than like,
me and you are both DMs, Joey, and there's definitely one thing you can infer from this this little modern day chain email, and it's that one of the biggest issues with generalizing the categories is that you don't have the skill tabs. So
yeah, that's the thing.
You know, like I'll give you an 8 in wisdom, but you know I might say that your insight is high. You know.
Right.
Or I might make you middle of the road for things like strength, right? For like general strength, but that doesn't mean that you aren't athletic.
Right.
So it's a broad generalization,
like
and for anyone in the audience who doesn't know what we're talking about, each one of these sections of skills in a typical D&D character sheet, they correlate to a couple or sometimes a lot of skills that are more like specific, like animal handling,
safe for constitution,
nature, insight, arcana, things like that, and those all get into the more like specific intricacies of what makes a character the way they are. So
they break down
very
even further.
Very general. That's why there's has to be like that debate around what is an appropriate number for which section, because things like things like sleight of hand fall under dexterity, right? So it's kind of hard to kind of
determine which is which.
This is a very general, like a hefty generalization, that's for sure.
Oh yeah.
My thinking was if I played drums, I think it would be more dexterity,
like me.
But then again, I don't play drums, so I don't know how much like
the big drums.
Well, I did play drums a while back, but I don't play like drums, at least not recently.
One of,
so-
Big boom,
one of our
big
other
boom, boom.
friends plays the drums, and if I was making his character sheet right now, I would 100% put his dexterity as 15.
Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting follow-up
which is
question.
funny because he's just as big and as broad as me, but I wouldn't be able to take away from the fact that A, he plays the drums, and you have to be very dexterous to do that, but also he's a tinkerer, and I feel like that is like sleight of hand incarnate.
That fine
Yeah.
motor skills.
Yeah, it's those fine motor skills that really put that apart from the rest.
Interesting follow-up question of this, and he would. I'm assuming for him, he would probably be an artificer. But
Oh,
what
100%.
class would you
Ooh.
assign yourself?
So
Out of
Joey,
D&D classes.
I
That's an
think
interesting
again,
one.
I don't think it's best that we do it for ourselves. I think it's best that
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that's a.
I think-
Yeah, we'll follow the same.
Okay, then I'll go first because I went first last time. What class do you guys think I would
Cool.
be? What class and race? Let's put race into it too. But let's say no human.
Ugh.
No human. It has to be
That's
a
always
non-human
good.
race.
All right. Let me.
Oh, I gotta pull up the
Are we
list.
going- Yeah, I was about to say, are we going like we're not going base only, right? Like the.
Let's say let's open it
the
up.
hand-
Let's open
player's
it to
handbook
like
only?
let's
Like, I think we
go to
opened
like
it up.
Voldos, you know?
Yeah. Let's dip into a
For-
little bit of
for-
everything.
For
We
what?
can do it just like this. We can do class, race, and alignment very easily altogether.
There we go. Okay. All right. So class.
The only asterisk on race is that no human, because obviously it's boring.
Okay. Class.
Class.
Let's see. Based on like two, like
Let's
because
say-
we're basically making each other's characters.
Right, it's
Yeah.
interesting, but you know,
It's a pretty solid thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's say barbarian. Not in the sense
Strength.
not in the sense that you're like a big unga bunga no smart.
Ooga booga.
Goober.
Not big, but let's say we're in a D&D setting. I feel like you'd be a barbarian just because sometimes you get that temper in you, and I feel like if it came down to it, you could hit some like berserker rage
Oh yeah.
that a barbarian can do.
Oh yeah. I can see
Yeah,
that
yeah.
justification.
If the switch flicked, it would be game time for sure.
What do you think?
I
What do
could
you
see
think
that.
differentiates those traits from like a fighter? Like, what do you think that?
That's,
think a-
that was
I
I was
think a
about to say
fighter is
fighter
more
would
of a,
be
like,
my
a-
second guess, but
Yeah, is more of a calm, collected, but still aggressive.
I can see.
But you're more of a, and I don't like I said, I don't mean that in a bad way, but you can get hot sometimes.
Oh no, I'll admit it, 100%.
in a combat situation, I feel like if things were like going, I could see you more berserker's rage than second winding.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can see that. So, what race
Yeah.
and alignment do you think I'd be?
I'm looking through the races right now
Hmm.
because I'm going like guide to Ravinica
Yeah.
and Eberron and I'm dipping
Everything.
into,
Make
like,
it as
everything I'm
interesting as
looking.
possible. You know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's the thing. So I don't feel like it would be like the classic like orcish barbarian. Blah blah
Orcish
blah. Nah, because I feel like
half-orc
I feel like
barbarian.
that doesn't coincide with the like the other stats and like you.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking. I wonder. Minotaur maybe. Because there's like that like the strong, yeah, the physical aspect of it too, but like there's the dedication and the courage, and you really stick to your guns, and you're really willing to like go to bat for what you think and what you believe.
Okay.
Yeah. Alignment. I would say chaotic neutral. Neutral.
Chaotic neutral.
Hmm.
I like that. I think
I think it's
definitely
kind of
neutral.
neutral.
yeah, definitely neutral. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm trying to like think of it in like terms. I definitely agree neutral. But oh well.
I'll just say
I-
now.
I'm-
I'm actually very like. I'm kind of shocked.
Lawful neutral maybe. True neutral. I don't know. I feel
Yeah.
lawful neutral.
Well, alignments are a little bit.
That's what makes.
I
them
feel
interesting.
lawful neutral.
That's what makes. Them
That's what-
really
yeah.
interesting in my opinion.
I think lawful neutral is definitely my choice. I would say.
I could see it. What do you think, Jake?
Yeah. All right, go. Input time.
I'm actually surprised that you immediately went to the race that I would have pegged myself for.
Nice.
That like kind of blew me away, Joey. I was like,
I know you, buddy.
I was like, wow.
Wow.
You know, I feel like Minotaurs kind of split the difference between like an orc and, you know,
A Loxodon.
Yeah, Loxodon. That's Magic the Gathering.
Yeah. No, there's
Loxodon are in
I know.
Guide to Ravnica too.
Right, because they No, I know. But I feel like Minotaurs are like the perfect split between like more human characteristics and like orcish characteristics without being a half orc. Because at least in 5e, orcs are kind of, generally speaking, if you're going by the book, they're like evil by default.
Gotta do the cooking by the book. Yeah.
But
when I was thinking when I was thinking Minotaur, I was thinking like Morahouse from like the Elder Scrolls.
Mm-hmm.
Like that history.
Okay.
So that's why I was like, oh yeah, Minotaur.
I found that really interesting that you guys went to that immediately. And you said lawful neutral for my alignment, right?
That's what I said. Vince started on chaotic neutral. I don't know if he shifted.
I can agree with lawful neutral.
I think that, at least me personally, I think that lawful neutral describes me a little bit better than chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
Because I'm very indifferent, but I'm also like, I like to put a lot of emphasis on like the idea of coexistence and things like that. And I can be kind of a stickler for the way things should be rather than the way things are. And I feel like chaotic neutral doesn't exactly like hit that in the right angle.
Gotcha.
So
yeah, I feel like we both ended up like falling on lawful.
Yeah. Alrighty. All right. Yeah, I'll go.
Boy.
Actually, just one more comment. The only other race that I think I would have been okay with is maybe Centaur, which is ironic.
You hankering for those you trying to be a horny boy, huh?
Nah. But centaurs, I think I could see myself as a centaur. When it comes to Vincent, right?
Vincent. Yeah. I got mine.
I think I have one immediately in mind as well.
Okay. Class?
Class first. I would say that Vincent, without a doubt, unequivocally, without any kind of second thought, would be a warlock.
Really?
100%. Without a doubt in my mind. Having known him for as long as I have, and knowing what I know about his personality, I think he would 100% be a warlock.
So like I'm interested to see what you mean by warlock, but for me, my choice would have been wizard. And not like in like the scholarly sense, but more so like Vince, I feel like out of all of us takes a lot of time to like research and look into like all of the things in detail that he does.
Are you
and
implying I'm a
actually,
virgin,
like,
Joey?
puts it to use. Yes, actually, and that was going to be my second point. Thank you for stepping forward. No, but I'm thinking like in the pursuit of knowledge sense, I guess is why I kind of aligned him more as a wizard in my mind.
Okay. You know what? I can see that. I can see that. He does seek out like skillful knowledge pretty frequently.
Tutorials.
Yeah, he's tutorial man.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah. That was my basis. I was thinking wizard.
Well, the reason I thought warlock is because there's kind of like a ambition aspect to warlock.
True.
And
True,
I feel
true.
like that's like a really like cornerstone kind of trait of Vincent.
Yeah.
He's incredibly
fair, too.
ambitious, you know?
Mm.
But it's hard to I feel like it could be either of those, honestly.
Multi-class.
Multi-class. No, that's a cop out.
One
That's a cop out.
One or the other.
or the other.
All right.
I feel like
race.
the pursuit of knowledge is innately ambitious, I feel. no, maybe not to the point of warlock,
Yeah.
but like warlock in my mind has the implication of like some outside force bestowing the ability,
uh,
or like
yeah,
whereas
I suppose, but I think that usually it's supposed to be that it's out of like an abundance of
desire.
desire to want to be powerful.
True. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
But I mean, I can concede to wizard because I feel like wizard also is a fitting description.
Whiz.
Wizard. All right.
As for Vincent's race, that one was pretty easy for me.
Yeah.
Okay. What'd you get?
So I think that he's a warforged from Eberron.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I like that. I was looking into all of them and I was kind of struggling, but one of those that I was like kind of settling on was Warforged. Yeah.
Why Warforged?
You're just very like. I mean, I don't want to say like robotic in the terms of no emotions, because one of the things about Warforged is that they're kind of like these like animated golems that can feel emotion and pain and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think it just has to do with like how calculated you are. Like you're robotic in that sense. You're very like what's the word I'm looking for? You're very like diligent. You're very
pragmatic.
Yeah,
you're very organized, and like you have kind of like the producer mindset.
Gotcha.
And I feel like that goes hand in hand really with kind of like this being this, inanimate object that's been given life and emotions, because you're very machine-like.
Clink clonk.
At least in your work ethic and like, the way you operate yourself when you need to get things done. I feel like that's really indicative of your personality.
Okay. You agree, Joe?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think that.
What were the other things that you were potentially leaning on?
I was thinking about it, and I was looking into all the races. I was looking back and forth. In my mind, I was thinking like technically. I read into it and it kind of like I never settled fully on one, but I was thinking like elvish in a way, like not necessarily like that whole like
stuck
up aspect of it, but like that kind of like sequestering yourself kind of from
maybe a half elf.
Yeah, the half elf was when I was kind of leaning on
Okay.
the other end. I was like I couldn't decide the sequester aspect of it.
Laborious. That's the word I was looking for.
Laborious. There you go.
And alignment.
The fuck out of my laboratory. Oh, this is easy. Fucking neutral evil.
Neutral evil.
100%.
Neutral evil.
You can go ahead.
Okay.
You can go ahead and have a fucking argument with me about that, but at least in terms of values, like obviously I don't mean like morally evil, but like Vincent is very much. I don't give a fuck how the sausage is made as long as I have 60 links on my desk by tomorrow.
Fair.
And I feel like that is just indicative of neutral evil.
I don't really look at tax evasion as that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's comments like that,
The fact that this podcast is now going to be held in a future court hearing, yeah.
I never said I would do tax evasion.
He just said he wouldn't prosecute. He wasn't saying that he killed her, just that if the glove didn't fit, I mean...
Jesus. I was on the edge
but you
of
know what?
arguing for true neutral.
But
I think that just sent me over to neutral evil.
Do not take this as an insult by any means, Vincent.
Oh boy.
But if you told me that you wanted to be a defense lawyer, I'd say, damn, that's a pretty decent career path for my boy. Because and I don't mean fucking civil court. I'm talking like homicide.
Oh no.
Jesus.
Oh no.
That's amazing.
It's the way you could be what is it, Johnny
That's
Cochran?
Just the way I feel.
You could be Johnny Cochran.
Johnny Cochran.
He's the one who did the OJ case, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Isn't it?
100%.
Now, why would a Wookiee
Jesus.
doesn't make sense?
I mean, I feel like you embody that idea. It's almost like a mobster mentality.
Oh boy.
I don't give a shit how it gets done. Just make sure it gets done.
Just get it done.
It's the little bit of Italian in me, and the fact that part of my family is ghetto gang Mexican.
It's pizza time.
It's pizza time. Speaking of pizza time, the next Italian in the room.
Jesus. Okay.
What
Character
a
class.
segue. I think that was the first good segue of the entire podcast. We
Well
should just-
done.
Yep.
Applause.
Dust off my hands after that one.
Well done, sir.
Pat yourself on the back.
Speaking of extra sausage.
Okay.
Sausage.
Joey.
Yeah.
So class.
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 This
Many
one
would
for
say
me,
classless.
I feel like I'm very. I have one in mind for this one, kind of off the bat, like instinctually,
Okay.
and I feel like it is.
Between
Edgy
Bard.
rogue, obviously.
Yeah, I was probably gonna go with Bard.
Yeah, I was gonna say Bard or maybe Monk, because monks can be kind of reclusive.
I'm more between a Bard and a Rogue.
Oh,
somewhere,
really?
somewhere in between that.
I wouldn't say Joey's that super sneaky type though.
I'm a tricky boy.
He's not. Yeah, but Rogue is a very vague term. Rogue does not imply that he's a fucking assassin.
I'm not saying assassin, but
You know, you can be a dashing rogue.
I'm a bit of a scoundrel sometimes.
Yeah,
scoundrel.
he can be what's his name? He could be Flynn Rider from Tangled.
Oh boy. Okay, I can kind of see it. I see.
But I think that
Interesting.
Bard probably fits the bill a little harder. Especially, we already established that he has high charisma.
Also a high some wanderlust mixed in there.
Oh, 100%.
Adventure boy.
If Joey could be a vagabond, he would be a vagabond.
It's true.
There
That's
you
true.
go. All right, I can agree on Bard. Race.
Race? What about race?
So this is where it gets hard for me.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I feel like none of them are like as poink as the other ones were in my opinion.
Pinpoint.
I feel like you could be a lot of things. And I think that kind of goes into the whole idea of you're probably the friend that exudes the most wanderlust.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose something, because, you just have to. I think I'd actually give you. Maybe Tiefling.
Ooh.
I think I'd maybe give you Tiefling.
Interesting.
Which is usually a really controversial race in the world of D&D.
Yeah.
And I think that might fit into the way that you might potentially see yourself.
Yeah. I think a lot of times you see yourself as kind of like
the stranger without a cause.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I feel like that kind of meshes well with the Tiefling identity of kind of being an outcast in most situations.
I can agree on Tiefling for sure, just based off of that alone.
Mm-hmm.
For alignment,
Okay.
To that effect, though, right? When it comes to alignment, I feel like you may fall into a good category.
Ooh.
Which is ironic for a I mean, not to say that Tieflings are by definition evil, but obviously, they're demonic and that kind of
In origin.
right. But I feel like that kind of adds to like the misunderstoodness.
Yeah. I would
But
say neutral, like a neutral good.
Yeah. He's very much that hero for hire kind of maybe not like lawfully good intentions, but not exactly just doing things on a whim.
Yeah.
And I feel like Joey's moralities lean a little more towards the realm of good rather than neutral. Because I mean, a true neutral is also like an archetypal hero for hire, but I feel like given certain decisions, I feel like Joey tends to lean on the ones that are the least impactful in terms of things like loss of, you know, human life or well, any life, but loss of life. I mean, loss of life, or, you know, I feel like Joey is a lot less self-servient. As someone who's DM'd Joey's role play for a long time, I feel like in most cases Joey is on the good spectrum instead of just being neutral, because there really is that element of like Joey tends to not be wholly self-servient.
Fair.
I feel like Joey has a way of like breaking down a situation and thinking about the future of how things can bite him in the ass.
Okay.
And I feel like that kind of informs a lot of his decisions. So that's why I think neutral good is his bag. But I could see how you could make an argument for true neutral for him as well.
Yeah, I think you walk a line between like good, like a good neutral and like a true neutral.
Yeah, if it's like the political compass, you know, like you like are a cusp kind of guy. You're definitely true neutral, but you usually lean on good intentions.
I live life on the edge.
Speaking of the edge, see you guys later.
Jesus.